notes?
I have notes.
What's that? He didn't respond, but he responded at lunch saying he would be available. I probably do. Oh, he said one moment. He said one moment.
He just responded one moment, so.
He's on.
All right, sir, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. All right, just a reminder that you're still under oath, okay, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
Good afternoon, Mr. Barrero. This is John Carroll.
Hi, John.
How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
I'm going to try to start where we left off on the previous testimony. I believe we were talking about your methodology.
Yes, sir.
Now, you reference in your methodology critical listening, waveform, and spectrographic analysis.
They said they're on their way.
Yes, sir.
Can you please explain to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury what that is?
Yes. So critical listening is just a detailed, repeated auditory review of the evidence. It's using high quality professional headphones on a forensic workstation and just reviewing the evidence in as detailed a way as possible with the ears. And that normally goes hand in hand with the waveform and spectrographic analysis, which is the visual representation on the screen of the audio that we are hearing through the ears. And the waveform is the squiggly line that everybody's familiar with. The spectrogram includes the frequency or the pitch, the individual frequencies that are present in the file, instead of just the amplitude of the sound wave in the waveform. You get the amplitude, you get the frequency or pitch also contained within the spectrogram.
And what does a spectrogram show us that our ears might miss?
So the spectrogram separates the sound into its frequency components. And so we'll see the individual frequencies that make up the sound. It's like deconstructing a symphony. You can see the individual instruments as opposed to just the sound altogether. So it really allows us to see through noise and overlapping sounds, and allows us to see audio details that otherwise you wouldn't necessarily be able to hear just with the ears. And it provides an objective measurement to use when we're analyzing an audio recording.
And sir, in your analysis, you discuss fundamental frequency and formants. What are those?
The fundamental frequency is the lowest frequency of a sound. Typically, if we're talking about a vocal sound or a musical sound, the fundamental frequency is what we would consider the pitch of that sound. It's symbolized as F0. It's the lowest formant on the spectrogram, and the formants that accompany that, they're the overtones. They're the resonant frequencies above the fundamental frequency that really gives the whatever the sound is, gives the voice or the instrument the unique sound, because those formants are created. They are a reflection of the unique shape and physical characteristics of the vocal tract or the instrument itself that created the sound. So the reason you can hear the difference between a piano playing middle C or a saxophone playing middle C, they're both playing the exact same pitch, right? Middle C is a defined pitch, but it's the overtones, or in this case, we're talking about the formants that actually give that sound its unique characteristics that allow you to distinguish the difference between a saxophone and a piano, for example.
And sir, you've received 2 audio files as part of your analysis, correct?
I did.
Okay, so there are 2 items in evidence. One is Commonwealth's exhibit number 1, which was the known 911 call. And we also have defense exhibit number 378, otherwise titled Lily 3, original. Have you reviewed both of
Yes,
those? Now, let's just look at the 911 call first. What, if anything, do you do regarding isolating a specific sound?
So for the 911 call, there's a sound after the dispatcher answers, which is really the only sound that I was concerned with It's a short recording to begin with, but the sound in question is about 1.4 seconds after it's a 1.4 second clip after the dispatcher answers the phone. And so I used that 1.4 second clip for the entirety of my analysis of this tape. I didn't do anything else with like when the dispatcher answered the phone or the automated voice that comes on the line prior to the dispatcher.
Okay. And was this relating, were you analyzing based upon what you just explained to us, how you got to that 1.4 second clip?
Yes. So on the spectrogram, it's visually very visible in the spectrogram, as well as audible when you listen to it, that there's this sound in that 1.4 second segment. You can see the fundamental frequency at the bottom, the F0, and some distinct formants stacked above it. So that sound was easy to isolate audibly with the ears and easily to isolate visibly in the spectrogram.
And let's move on to the exemplar recording of the dog, Lily 3. What did you find
Yes, sir.
regarding the fundamental frequency of that?
So there was a segment of the Lily recording that I also isolated and used for the analysis here. And the fundamental frequency for both the 911 call, that questioned sound on the 911 call, and the segment of the Lily recording, the fundamental frequencies were both in the low 200 hertz range. And then there were formants stacked above those in both recordings as well. And so I isolated each of those and put them side by side to compare not only the fundamental frequency, but also the individual formats that were stacked above that.
And what, if anything, did you do then?
So I found that in both recordings, the fundamental frequency was in the low 200 hertz range, and then I did look at the individual formants above that, and the specific the F1 and F2 formants. So the first two formants above the fundamental in both the Lily exemplar and in the 911 call. Those first two formants were the highest amplitude. And then the other formants stacked above that kind of dropped off in amplitude. And they all lined up very well in the spectrogram, meaning the individual frequencies that made up these sounds were consistent from one to the other.
And what, if anything, did you create as a result of that?
So I created what I titled exemplar 911 concatenated.wave. And this was a file that I created using the isolated segments that I just talked about. So the short 1.4 second segment from the 911 call and the segment from the Lily 911, or I'm sorry, the Lily exemplar recording. I placed those side by side. So basically one right after the other in this exemplar concatenated recording so that it could be compared audibly as well as visually in the spectrogram and with your own ears. And so when these two sounds are played back to back like that, you can hear that when they are played back to back, it's a consistent tone. It's a consistent sound that both audibly and visually with these two samples.
And these, this concatenated wave exemplar, of the 911 and the Lilly calls is something that you created based upon Commonwealth Exhibit 1, which is moved into evidence, and Commonwealth and Defense Exhibit 378 that's been moved into evidence?
Yes, sir.
You're going to move in the concatenated wave as Exhibit 379?
All right, any objection?
No, ma'am.
379 in evidence?
Your Honor, may I have permission to play?
Sure, do you need assistance? Because
I'm going to try to play, I always need assistance.
well, your laptop's not connected anymore to the,
Oh,
I have IT
okay, thank you.
in the
I'm
courtroom
fine,
because,
I'm fine stepping away.
well, yes. Your reputation precedes you, Mr. Carroll.
As a technology person or not?
We're trying to play,
No comment.
So this one right here, exemplar 911.
okay, and are you attached to the system?
I think I am.
Okay. You have a,
Am I good to go?
I still need to smoke.
Okay.
It's just not.
Okay, it's only a short one.
Just have to move the microphone down to the laptop. There you go. Okay.
Sir, could you hear that?
Not really well, but I could.
Is there another way to hook into the system?
Let's try to hurry it up.
Sorry. Could you hear that then, sir?
Yes, I can hear it. It's not great quality, but yes, I can hear it.
Sir, when you played these two sounds back to back, the known dog sound and the question 911 sound, what did you hear?
So the audio was consistent from one recording to the next. They sounded audibly consistent with each other, and like I said, visually they were also consistent in the spectrogram.
Now, is it possible to, using all of the tools that you have, to find a moment where the pitch of one sample is consistent with the pitch of the comparison sample, if you have a long enough exemplar?
So it might be possible, given a long enough recording, to find a moment where the pitch or the fundamental frequency matches simply by chance in a long recording. But that would just be one piece of the puzzle. Like I said, with the fundamental frequency, that's just the start of the sound. What really gives a sound its full character are all of the formants, or the overtones, like we talked about with separating the sound of a piano with the sound of a saxophone. Those two instruments, if you have a long enough recording, their pitch is going to overlap a lot, right? They could be playing the same note at the same time, but they will never sound the same because of those overtones, because of, in this case, the formants make up the sound. So we're not just simply talking about the single pitch of the fundamental frequency happens to line up at one moment in the recording. We're talking about much more than just a single moment where the pitch matches, but all of the characteristics of the sound are also consistent. So the unique sound of this groan, we'll call it, that comes from those formants, not just the pitch. So yes, while it is technically possible that you could find a moment in any sufficiently long enough recording with sufficiently variable pitches where two pitches might match, that's really not what was done here. This is looking at the entirety of those two samples for the comparison, not just that the pitches happen to cross each other at a moment.
Now, based on your forensic analysis, have you reached a conclusion regarding the unidentified groaning sound on the 911 call and the known recordings of the dog Lily?
Yes. So I can say to a high degree of forensic certainty that the apparent groaning sound on the 911 call is consistent with the dog groaning sounds found in that exemplar recording.
And would your conclusion be any different if you were retained by the prosecution?
No, my conclusion would be exactly the same, because my analysis is based strictly on the objective data, the spectrograms and the audio characteristics, not on which party is actually requesting the analysis. I tell everybody that hires me, I'm not an advocate for either side. I'm an advocate for the evidence. So my testimony would be, my conclusion would be exactly the same, no matter which side retained me.
Thank you, sir. Those are all the questions I have. The Commonwealth may have some questions.
All right, cross-examination.
Yes, sir.
Good afternoon, Mr. Barrero. Thank you so much for your time today again. Just a couple of questions for you.
Good afternoon.
Isn't it entirely possible that the sound that we hear in the background of the 911 recording could also have been a human making that noise?
It's possible, yes.
Okay. And you were given a 1 hour and 25 minute long segment of Lily, or a sample of Lily, to compare to the 1.4 seconds of 911 call. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And in the approximately 5,100 seconds of Lily groaning, you found what I think I understand to be a 6-second sample that matched. Is that correct?
No, I wouldn't characterize it like that, because much of that exemplar, there was no groaning. There was only a few tiny segments in that whole sample where there was any groaning.
Okay. And this was titled Lily 3 audio. We heard the defendant testify that there were as many as 3 different samples created. Were you given samples 1 and 2 to compare?
No, I wasn't.
All right. Nothing further, Judge. Thank you.
All right, redirect.
Mr. Barrero, just to be clear, the item Lily 3 was nearly an hour long, correct?
I don't remember the exact time, but yes, it was a much longer recording than the 911 call.
And it was recorded, or it was left recording in order to get
Objection
sound.
leading.
Sustained.
Is it fair to say that there were numerous sounds on there, but not a continuous?
Objection leading.
Sustained.
What did you find with regard to the Lily 3 recording?
There was a lot of relative silence, so no real sounds at all, just kind of background noise. There was some barking and whining and other sort of dog sounds, and like I said, just a few groaning sounds in the entire recording.
And when you choose your exemplar for purposes of your forensic analysis, you have specific goals in terms of making it a good comparison, correct?
Yes, so clearly, it wouldn't be beneficial to take the time to compare a barking sound with a groaning sound, right? Because those are immediately, obviously not consistent with each other. So I specifically was looking for a groaning sound because that's what is audible on the 911 tape.
And no one directed you to the sounds? that-
Objection leading.
Did anybody direct you to the sounds that you ultimately chose in order to use as a comparison?
No, sir, I was given the entire file and I chose the segment that I used for the comparison.
Okay, thank you, sir.
All right. Thank you, sir, for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. All right, your next witness?
Your Honor, the defense rests.
Defense rests. All right. Why don't we go ahead and take our break? Let's go ahead and take our 15-minute break before we do rebuttal evidence, okay? It's a little early, but that's okay. We'll come back at 3:15, okay? Just don't discuss anything and don't do any outside research, okay?
But I can be so fast.
It's the longest thing. Okay. There we go. All right. I assume the rebuttal evidence will be finished today then?
Judge, I have 10 minutes with one witness and 5 with another.
Okay, that's good. Well, then they get their break and they can
Yeah.
come back and then we'll just let them go for the day.
Okay.
And then we'll go ahead and do our jury instructions and
Yes,
take
ma'am.
care of that as well, okay?
Yes.
And then we'll be ready for, well, we have the 9:30 media motion.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. And then at 10 o'clock, we will be able to do closing arguments. Do we agree?
Yes, ma'am.
Perfect. All right, let's just come back then at 3:15, okay?
Okay, thank you.